Success often begins not with external circumstances, but with the internal belief that you already belong at the top. When you act as if you are already the person you aspire to become, something extraordinary happens. Your mind starts to rewire itself for success. You begin to speak with greater clarity, move with more purpose, and carry yourself with a confidence that naturally attracts respect and opportunity. Most people wait for permission. They wait for validation, for someone else to recognize their potential before they dare to act boldly. But true achievers understand that waiting for readiness is a trap. If you wait until you feel ready, you might wait forever. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort of certainty. It happens when you step forward in faith, when you claim your place at the table, even before others offer you a seat. Acting as if you belong is not arrogance. It is a decision to trust your potential more than your fear. It is not about pretending to know everything or boasting about things you haven't achieved. It is about carrying yourself with the belief that you are capable, worthy, and destined for more. When you align your mindset, speech, and actions with the vision of the person you are becoming, the world around you responds in kind. Your body language changes. You stand taller. Your voice carries more conviction. Your decisions become sharper because you are no longer operating from a place of insecurity. You are operating from purpose. People notice this shift, often before you do. Respect flows naturally toward those who respect themselves first. It all begins in your mind. If you view yourself as someone stuck, unworthy, or not ready, your actions will unconsciously reflect that belief. But when you act as if you are ready, when you embody the energy of someone who belongs at the highest level, you invite yourself into rooms you once thought were out of reach. And more importantly, you prepare your mind to thrive once you get there. This principle applies across every area of life. Whether you're stepping into a new career, building a business, speaking publicly, or pursuing a personal dream, the same rule holds. Confidence precedes evidence. The more you practice acting as if you already belong, the more naturally you will rise to meet the challenges and opportunities that come your way. Remember, even the greatest leaders, innovators, and pioneers once stood at the starting line with doubt in their hearts. They didn't wait until they were certain. They acted as if success was inevitable. They moved with belief first, and results followed. Today, you have the same choice. You can either wait for someone else to tell you you're ready, or you can decide that you already are. Choose to move forward boldly, speak with authority, walk with purpose. Build the habits, the mindset, and the energy of someone who belongs exactly where they aim to go. The future belongs to those who act with faith, not fear. It belongs to those who live today as the person they are determined to become tomorrow. So start now. Step into your vision with certainty. Act as if you already belong at the top, because if you dare to believe it, you are already halfway there. Most of the barriers that we believe are holding us back are not external. They are internal constructs of our own making. Limitations are not carved into the landscape of reality. They are built in the mind, piece by piece, through fear, doubt, and past experiences. The walls that seem to block your dreams, the ceilings that appear to cap your potential, and the boundaries that feel immovable are rarely real obstacles. They are beliefs. And the powerful truth is that beliefs can be changed. Every limitation you accept without question becomes a prison you willingly live inside. Yet these prisons have no physical walls. They exist only because you continue to believe they are real. Once you understand that your perceived barriers are mental, not actual, you unlock the ability to tear them down and move beyond them. This realization is the first step toward personal freedom and lasting success. External circumstances certainly present challenges. Life can be difficult. Resources can be limited. But none of these factors, on their own, have the final say over your destiny. History is filled with examples of individuals who rose above far greater odds than you might currently face. not because the path was easy, but because their mindset refused to accept limitations as final. Beliefs shape everything. They influence how you think, how you feel, and how you act. If you believe you are incapable, you will hesitate. If you believe opportunity is scarce, you will stop seeking it. If you believe you are powerless, you will not fight for your dreams. But if you believe that you are capable, that opportunity is abundant, and that your efforts matter, you move differently. You push further. You persist longer. The beauty of beliefs is that they are malleable. They are not fixed like the mountains or the oceans. They can be challenged, re-examined, and rewritten. You are not a prisoner to the thoughts you inherited from fear, failure, or the expectations of others. You have the authority to question them, to reject them, and to replace them with stronger, truer convictions. Start by examining the limits you have accepted. Ask yourself, is this barrier truly real, or have I simply believed it into existence? Often, just shining the light of awareness on a limiting belief is enough to weaken its grip. Once identified, replace it with a new belief rooted in possibility, not fear. You have more power than you realize. Your mind can either be the architect of your dreams or the warden of your doubts. If you choose to believe in your potential, in your ability to learn, adapt, and overcome, then no external force can truly stop you. Setbacks may come, but they will be seen as temporary. Challenges may rise, but you will view them as tests, not tombstones. The transformation from limitation to liberation begins within. You must first free yourself mentally before you can achieve freedom externally. When you break the chains of limiting beliefs, you realize that the only real boundaries that ever existed were the ones you agreed to live with. And now you can choose differently. Believe in your ability to rewrite the story. Believe in the power you hold to reshape your future. You are not trapped by reality. You are only trapped by the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story, change the belief, and you will change your life. Clarity is the foundation upon which every extraordinary life is built. Without clarity, it's easy to drift, to be pulled in countless directions by the opinions of others, the noise of society, and the fleeting trends of the world. But when you know exactly what you want, decision-making becomes effortless. Your energy becomes focused, your actions become purposeful, and your confidence begins to soar. Clarity acts like a compass, keeping you aligned with your deepest desires and shielding you from unnecessary distractions. When you have a clear vision of your goals, every choice you face becomes simpler. You no longer waste time on paths that don't lead to your purpose. Instead, you recognize quickly what serves your mission and what detracts from it. The temptation to chase every new opportunity or every new trend fades. You no longer measure yourself against others because you know the destination you're aiming for, and that destination is uniquely yours. This is where the principle of acting as if you already belong at the top comes into play. When your vision is clear, you can embody the mindset, behavior, and confidence of the person you are becoming, even before you have arrived. Acting with certainty, even while the goal is still on the horizon, programs your mind for success. It tells your subconscious that you are serious, committed, and deserving of the life you envision. When you combine clarity with bold action, you become unstoppable. Clarity gives you the blueprint, action breathes life into it. Acting as if you already belong is not about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about aligning your thoughts, your speech, and your posture with the future you're actively building. It's about carrying yourself as someone who knows exactly where they are headed and moves with the confidence that comes from that knowing. Without clarity, fear and doubt thrive. You second-guess every step. You hesitate. You look around for validation. But when clarity anchors you, you stop waiting for external approval. You stop shrinking to fit expectations that were never meant for you. You move with quiet power, trusting that your path is true even when others cannot see it yet. Clarity also allows you to adjust gracefully when life inevitably changes. Goals evolve, dreams refine themselves over time. But when you stay connected to your inner compass, course corrections feel natural, not overwhelming. You remain adaptable without losing your sense of direction. Ultimately, the combination of clarity and action creates momentum. Every day you act in alignment with your vision, you build self-trust. Each decision rooted in clarity strengthens your confidence. You begin to walk, speak, and choose like someone who belongs exactly where they're going. The world respects those who know who they are and where they are headed. When you cultivate clarity and act as if you already belong, you stop chasing success. You start attracting it. You stop pleading for opportunities. You start creating them. Success stops being a distant dream and becomes the natural consequence of the person you are intentionally becoming. Clarity is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the soil in which all greatness grows. And combined with fearless action, it becomes the most powerful force you can bring into your life. Fear is one of the most powerful illusions that holds people back from reaching their full potential. It whispers doubts, magnifies risks, and builds walls that seem impossible to climb. Yet, when you look closely, you realize that these walls are not made of stone. They are made of thought. They exist only because you allow them to exist. Fear is not a real obstacle. It is a mental construct. And the only true way to dissolve fear is through bold, decisive action. Action is the antidote to fear. It is the force that transforms the impossible into the inevitable. Every time you take action in the face of fear, you weaken its grip on your mind. Fear feeds on hesitation. It grows stronger when you delay, second guess, or doubt yourself. But when you move forward, especially when you feel unsure, you strip fear of its power. You show yourself that the monster you imagined was just a shadow. Think of any great achievement in history, and you will find that it was accomplished by someone who chose action over paralysis. They were not necessarily fearless. Rather, they acted in spite of fear. They understood that waiting for fear to disappear was a losing game. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of fear through movement. Fear cannot survive where decisive action lives. When you confront fear directly, you begin to see it for what it truly is, a mirage. The overwhelming majority of things you fear will never come to pass. And even if challenges arise, they are rarely as devastating as fear paints them to be. By stepping into action, you discover that you are far more capable, resourceful, and resilient than you believed. Bold action also creates momentum. When you take the first step, the second becomes easier. With each move forward, your confidence grows. You no longer rely on motivation or perfect conditions to act. You rely on your own willpower. Action builds trust in yourself. It rewires your brain to expect progress instead of paralysis. It teaches you that progress does not come from endless planning or worrying. It comes from doing. Every small act of courage compounds over time. The more you act, the less intimidating fear becomes. The more you move, the stronger you feel. Success is not reserved for the lucky. It is reserved for the bold. Those who choose action over hesitation, those who dare to take the first step, even when the entire path isn't visible yet. Understand this. Fear thrives in imagination. It loses its grip in reality. Most of what you fear only exists because you haven't taken action yet. Once you step forward, the fog begins to clear. You realize the road ahead is not as treacherous as you thought. Yes, there will be obstacles. Yes, there will be setbacks. But you are strong enough to handle them, and stronger still for having faced them. The life you dream of, the goals you long to reach, are waiting for you on the other side of action. Fear tells you to wait, to prepare more, to be cautious. But action tells you the truth. You are ready now. You don't need another plan, another permission slip, or another guarantee. You need movement. You need boldness. You need to trust yourself enough to begin. Remember, fear is the lock, but action is the key. Turn it. Step forward. Shatter the illusion. Because once you act boldly, the impossible doesn't just seem possible, it becomes inevitable. Boldness and courage have always been the true foundations of greatness. Throughout history, success has never belonged to those who waited for certainty or perfect conditions. It has always honored those who chose to act boldly, even when the path ahead was unclear and filled with risk. The bold do not move because they have eliminated fear. They move because they have learned to master it. They understand a simple but powerful truth. Waiting for the perfect moment is a myth. Progress demands action now, not later. When you choose boldness, you send a signal to the world, and more importantly, to yourself, that your dreams are worth pursuing. Every bold step forward builds momentum, strengthens character, and creates opportunities that hesitation would have destroyed. Fear tries to convince you that risk is dangerous, but the greatest danger lies in standing still. Stagnation slowly erodes dreams, confidence, and potential. Boldness, on the other hand, breathes life into your vision. Think of the individuals who changed the course of history: leaders, inventors, pioneers. None of them had a clear guarantee of success when they began. Harriet Tubman did not wait until she had assurance of safety before leading others to freedom. Thomas Edison did not wait until he had a foolproof plan before experimenting thousands of times to create the light bulb. These individuals acted with courage. They accepted that failure was a possibility, but they refused to let that possibility chain them to inaction. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something is more important than fear. It is standing in front of uncertainty and moving anyway. It is acknowledging risk, but not surrendering to it. The courageous understand that obstacles are not signals to retreat. They are invitations to rise. Every great achievement is born in the fires of uncertainty and perseverance. Without bold action, dreams remain just that: dreams, untouched and unrealized. The remarkable truth is that boldness creates its own luck. Opportunities often appear only after you have moved. Resources align, people show up, and new paths emerge when you declare through action that you are serious about your mission. Waiting for everything to align perfectly is a silent resignation to mediocrity. Those who build legacies understand that the act of stepping forward, despite fear, shapes reality itself. Courage is also contagious. When you move boldly, you inspire others to find courage within themselves. Boldness becomes a ripple effect, encouraging teams, families, communities, and even nations to step into higher versions of themselves. Your single act of courage today could ignite a chain reaction of bravery and progress far beyond what you can immediately see. But boldness must be practiced daily. It is not a one-time heroic act. It is a lifestyle. It's speaking your truth even when your voice shakes. It's pursuing your vision even when others doubt you. It's taking the next step even when you can't see the entire path. And each time you choose boldness over fear, you expand your own capacity for greatness. Remember, history does not remember the hesitant, it remembers the brave. It honors those who acted with conviction when certainty was nowhere to be found. The world you dream of building, the impact you hope to leave behind, will not come from waiting, wishing, or worrying. It will come from moving boldly in the direction of your vision, despite every voice of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Greatness belongs to those who dare. Dare boldly and claim the life you were meant to live. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. Every belief you hold, every action you take, every habit you form, and ultimately, the life you live, all of it can be traced back to the thoughts you consistently entertain. It is not external circumstances that define your destiny. It is the quality of your internal dialogue. If you want to change your life, you must first change your thinking. Thoughts are seeds. When planted repeatedly, they grow roots deep into your subconscious mind. If those seeds are seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, then the harvest will be a life filled with hesitation, frustration, and missed opportunities. But if you consciously plant seeds of belief, courage, and possibility, you will cultivate a life rich with achievement, fulfillment, and joy. The mind is a fertile field. It does not question what you plant. It simply nurtures whatever seeds you allow to take root. Every belief you hold today started as a single thought repeated often enough to become truth in your mind. If you constantly tell yourself you're not capable, that success is meant for others but not for you, you will live out that story, even if it is a lie. But the beautiful truth is that beliefs are not permanent. They are moldable. They can be rewritten, and rewriting them starts by taking control of your thoughts. If you want to become stronger, more successful, or more fulfilled, you cannot wait for life to change. You must lead the change from within. Feed your mind daily with empowering ideas. Challenge negative thoughts the moment they arise. Replace "I can't" with "I am learning." Replace "this is impossible" with "I will find a way." This simple but disciplined practice reshapes your internal world, and as a result, transforms your external life. It's important to understand the sequence. Thoughts shape beliefs, beliefs drive actions, actions repeated over time form habits, and habits create your results. If you neglect the root, the thought, you will endlessly struggle with surface-level symptoms, never fully addressing the real cause of your challenges. But when you correct your thinking, everything else begins to align naturally. Your actions become more purposeful, your habits become more empowering, and your results begin to mirror the vision you have cultivated inside. Changing your thoughts is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. You must become the guardian of your mind, choosing carefully what you allow to enter. This means being intentional about the books you read, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume, and the people you surround yourself with. Your environment feeds your thoughts, and your thoughts feed your future. Visualization is another powerful tool to direct your thinking. Spend time each day seeing yourself living the life you desire. Picture it vividly. Feel the emotions associated with your success. The mind, when flooded with strong, positive images, begins to believe them as reality. And once belief is established, action becomes natural, even inevitable. Ultimately, your life is a mirror reflecting the state of your mind. If you are dissatisfied with what you see, do not waste time blaming circumstances. Instead, return to the source. Audit your thoughts. Uproot the weeds of negativity and self-doubt. Plant new seeds of vision, faith, and determination. Water them daily with disciplined focus and positive reinforcement. The most successful individuals in every field know the secret. They mastered their inner world before conquering the outer one. You must do the same, because once you take full ownership of your thoughts, you take full ownership of your destiny. Change your mind, and you will change your life. Setbacks are not signs that you are destined to fail. They are opportunities dressed as obstacles, meant to sharpen your character, build resilience, and redirect your path toward growth. Failure is never the end unless you choose to make it so. In truth, every setback you encounter carries vital feedback, information that can help you adjust, evolve, and eventually succeed beyond what you originally imagined. In the end, courage is the bridge between who you are today and who you are destined to become. Every small, brave decision you make today strengthens that bridge. Each one brings you closer to your goals, your dreams, and your highest self. So choose courage, not once, but daily. Trust that each step forward, no matter how small, builds a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. Fearlessness is the antidote to doubt. Doubt thrives in stillness, in hesitation, in moments when action is delayed and fear is allowed to take root. It grows stronger when you wait for the perfect moment, second-guess yourself, or entertain endless what-if scenarios. But the moment you take fearless, decisive steps, doubt begins to dissolve. It cannot survive in the presence of bold action. Fearlessness is not about the absence of fear. It is about moving forward despite it, and in doing so, dismantling the power that doubt holds over your mind. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you earn. It is built brick by brick through repeated courageous actions. Every time you take a step forward, even a small one, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Each act of bravery tells your subconscious mind, I am capable. I can trust myself. And over time, this message becomes so deeply rooted that it forms an unshakable inner belief. Most people mistakenly wait for confidence to show up before they act. They believe that once they feel ready, once they are certain of success, only then can they move forward. But the truth is the opposite. Action precedes confidence. Courageous steps taken in uncertainty are what forge the inner certainty we all desire. Confidence is a reward, not a prerequisite. Think of it like building muscle. You don't wait until you are strong to start lifting weights. You lift the weights while you're still weak, and through the struggle, you become strong. Similarly, you don't wait until you are fearless to take action. You act, and through that action, you become fearless. Each fearless decision, no matter how small, is a brick laid in the foundation of a stronger, more resilient you. Every time you speak up when you could have stayed silent, every time you move toward a goal even though fear tries to hold you back, you are fortifying your confidence. It compounds daily. It grows steadily. And soon, it becomes part of your very identity. Importantly, fearlessness doesn't mean recklessness. It means acting with wisdom and resolve, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. It means understanding that failure is part of growth, that rejection is redirection, and that obstacles are simply tests of your commitment. Fearless action is not blind, it is purposeful. It says, I know there are risks, but my purpose is greater than my fear. Doubt has no defense against action. When you move, when you act with decisive boldness, doubt is stripped of its foundation. It has nothing to cling to. You no longer need to argue with your fears or debate your worth. Your actions become your evidence. They become proof that you are capable, that you are resilient, and that you are worthy of success. So remember, the path to confidence is paved with daily acts of courage. It's built one choice at a time, one brave conversation, one bold move, one decisive step. Each act chips away at the doubts that once seemed insurmountable. Each act reminds you that fear only has the power you give it, and that you are far stronger than you once believed. If you want to eliminate doubt, if you want to build unshakable confidence, you must commit to fearless living, not in giant leaps, but in daily, deliberate actions. Walk forward even when you feel uncertain. Speak up even when your voice shakes. Dream bigger even when it feels risky. Because every fearless act you take writes a new story, one where you're not defined by doubt, but by unstoppable confidence. Lasting success is not the product of fleeting moments of bravery or occasional bursts of motivation. It is the outcome of fearless persistence. True success is built by those who consistently choose action over fear, even when progress feels slow, even when obstacles seem overwhelming. It is not about waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect feeling of readiness. It is about moving forward, step by step, day by day, regardless of fear, fatigue, or uncertainty. The brave do not wait to feel strong before they act. They understand a powerful truth. Strength is not found, it is forged. Every act of courage, every decision to persist when others would quit, every moment of discipline in the face of temptation, these are the invisible forces that build true, enduring success. Growth is not a singular event. It is a relentless process, a gradual layering of effort, resilience, and self-belief over time. Fearless persistence demands that you view challenges differently. Instead of seeing obstacles as stop signs, you see them as invitations to grow stronger. Instead of interpreting setbacks as reasons to quit, you recognize them as opportunities to sharpen your skills, deepen your resolve, and prove your commitment to your vision. Success belongs not to those who avoid failure, but to those who refuse to be defeated by it. This journey requires grit, the ability to stay in the fight long after the initial excitement fades. It demands that you hold your vision firmly in your heart even when the results are not yet visible. It asks you to show up fully on the hard days, the quiet days, and the discouraging days. And it rewards you in ways that momentary effort never could. Because while many can act once, only the truly committed act again and again, building momentum that becomes unstoppable. Fearless persistence also shapes your character. It transforms you from the inside out. You begin to see yourself as someone who finishes what they start, someone who rises after every fall, someone who grows tougher with every test. This inner transformation is far more valuable than any external achievement. It becomes your true source of power, the unshakable core that no loss, criticism, or failure can destroy. Consider the greatest successes throughout history. They were not created overnight. They were not born of a single lucky break. They were the result of years, sometimes decades, of fearless, relentless action. They were built by individuals who refused to let fear make their decisions, by individuals who showed up, worked harder, learned faster, and stayed longer than anyone else. To achieve lasting success, you must adopt the same mindset. Stop waiting for the world to grant you permission. Stop hoping that fear will magically disappear. Stop thinking success is reserved for the lucky few. Success is reserved for the brave, for those who act when it's hard, who persist when it's painful, who stay committed when the road is long. Every choice you make matters. Every time you take action instead of hesitating, every time you persist instead of giving up, you are laying a brick in the foundation of your future. And the more bricks you lay, the stronger and higher your future will rise. Remember this: the brave do not wait for strength, they create it. Through fearless persistence, they carve a path where none existed before. Through relentless growth, they transform dreams into destiny. And so can you. Commit today to fearless persistence. Choose to act boldly, consistently, and with unwavering faith in your vision. Because lasting success is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of courage practiced daily. Optimism is the silent fuel that powers fearless action. It is often misunderstood as blind positivity or the denial of hardship. But real optimism is far deeper and stronger. It is not the naive belief that life will always be easy. It is the courageous conviction that even when life is hard, better outcomes are still possible. Optimism does not ignore difficulty, it rises above it. It allows you to face adversity head-on while maintaining the belief that you are moving towards something greater. When challenges come, as they inevitably do, it is optimism that sustains your courage. Without it, the weight of obstacles can feel crushing. Fear begins to creep in. Doubt grows louder. Progress feels impossible. But with optimism, the mind stays anchored to possibility. Even amid setbacks, even when the road gets steep, the optimist sees beyond the current struggle and keeps moving toward the goal. They know that storms are temporary, but the power to overcome is permanent. Optimism transforms the experience of hardship. Where others see dead ends, the optimist sees detours. Where others feel trapped by failure, the optimist finds lessons and stepping stones. This mindset doesn't just make life feel better, it directly impacts results. A hopeful mind is a resilient mind, and resilience is the cornerstone of success. Optimistic people try longer, learn faster, and bounce back quicker because they believe there is still a path forward, even when one isn't immediately visible. Fear thrives in hopelessness. When you believe that hardship is final, that difficulty is a dead end, fear multiplies. But when you choose optimism, you starve fear. You rob it of its greatest weapon, despair. Optimism breathes life into action. It whispers, keep going. A way will be made. And when you believe that, you're far more likely to find that way, or create one, if it does not yet exist. Building an optimistic mindset is not about ignoring reality, it is about choosing your focus within reality. Problems exist, but so do solutions. Pain is real, but so is growth. Losses happen, but so do new opportunities. Your mind must be trained day by day to search for what can be done rather than fixating on what is broken. You must teach yourself to ask, where is the good in this? How can I rise from this? History is filled with individuals who changed the world, not because they had perfect circumstances, but because they had unshakable optimism. They believed when others doubted. They endured when others quit. They imagined possibilities when others surrendered to limitations. Their optimism was their armor in the battle against fear, discouragement, and stagnation. You have the same ability. You can cultivate optimism as a daily habit. Feed your mind with hopeful thoughts. Surround yourself with people who lift your vision rather than limit it. Speak words that align with possibility, not with fear. Practice gratitude. It sharpens your eyes to the blessings you already have and primes your spirit to expect more. In every situation, you have a choice. Focus on what is missing or focus on what is possible. Choose possibility. Choose hope. Choose the mindset that refuses to shrink under hardship and instead grows stronger through it. Because when optimism fuels your fearless action, no obstacle can hold you for long. The journey may be hard, but your spirit will be harder. And that unstoppable belief will carry you exactly where you are meant to go. Your future is not something that happens by chance. It is not the result of luck, fate, or waiting for the stars to align. Your future is crafted moment by moment by the fearless choices you make today. Greatness does not belong to the fortunate few. It belongs to those who have the courage to act without hesitation. Every decision you make, no matter how small, lays a brick in the foundation of the life you are building. The question is, what kind of future are you constructing with the choices you make right now? Fear will always offer you reasons to delay. It will whisper that you are not ready, that you need more time, more resources, more approval. But if you wait for perfect conditions, you will wait forever. Perfect moments are illusions. The only real power you have is in this moment. The choice to move forward despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite the unknown. When you act fearlessly, you shift the entire trajectory of your life. Each bold decision becomes a vote for your future self, the one who is stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Every time you say yes to action and no even to hesitation, you build momentum. That momentum compounds day after day until it becomes unstoppable. Success is not an event. It is a habit built through thousands of courageous moments when you chose movement over paralysis. Understand this clearly. Hesitation is the silent killer of dreams. It stalls progress, breeds doubt, and cements mediocrity. The longer you hesitate, the louder fear becomes. But when you act, you silence fear. You teach your mind that you are a person who moves, who builds, who creates outcomes rather than waiting for them. Think of the people who have changed history, who have left lasting marks on the world. They were not necessarily the most talented or the most gifted. What set them apart was their relentless willingness to act. They did not wait for guarantees. They moved forward with faith in their vision. They made decisions that seemed bold, even reckless to others. But those decisions carved their names into history. You must live with the same spirit. You must understand that your destiny is not something you stumble upon. It is something you forge through fearless commitment. Whether it's starting that business, having that difficult conversation, pursuing that dream you keep putting off, the time is not someday. The time is now. Action today creates opportunity tomorrow. Every step you take strengthens your belief, sharpens your focus, and builds your future. Do not allow fear to steal another moment. Do not let hesitation build walls between you and the life you deserve. Every courageous act you take today is an investment in the person you are becoming. Make it a rule for your life. Act boldly. Decide swiftly. Move deliberately. Because greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It is reserved for the brave, the ones who understood that waiting was the real enemy, and that courage, practiced daily, would lead them to heights they once only dreamed of. Your future is in your hands right now. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now choose fearlessness, choose action, and watch the extraordinary life you were meant for unfold. In life, one truth remains timeless. Greatness is not the result of chance, but of daily, fearless choices. Every day, no matter your age, you hold the power to shape your future by acting with courage instead of hesitation. It's never too late to build the life you deserve. Fear often disguises itself as caution, whispering that you should wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment never comes. Progress belongs to those who move forward despite uncertainty. Your strength is not measured by how little fear you feel, but by how often you act in spite of it. Every bold step you take strengthens your confidence, renews your purpose, and brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Even small, consistent actions, whether it's committing to a new habit, embracing a long-held dream, or simply choosing optimism each morning, can transform your journey. Remember, your destiny isn't written by what you wish for. It's shaped by what you do. No matter the season of life you're in, today is your opportunity to plant seeds of courage and harvest a future of fulfillment. Choose action. Choose faith. Choose to lead your life, not just live it.